Where were we? Among Us. You think there might be other Among Us? I think there might be other Lasetti using stat device in the city. I ask her. I don't know. Layla Rice. It's a possibility. Can I take a look at your stat booster, please? Yeah, sure. I guess, I say as I take it out of my stat device out of my pocket and show it to her. The girl gives the device one long pondering look before she writes again. Thank you, Lasetti. Layla writes. Want to see how fast your stat booster is gathering energy compared to mine, but yours is working a little better, but not enough to justify a 10-point difference between us. You can tell all that just by looking at it. I ask her. Of course not. Layla writes. Not by looking. I can tell by sensing the flow of the magical energy surrounding it. Can't you? Well, I guess I can sort of feel the flow of it, I say, but there's no way I would tell which one of the two devices gathering more than the other. That's strange, Layla writes. If you can't even tell the difference between our two devices, then how did you know that the stat booster was designed to work for Lasetti before coming to this tournament? From what you have told, it doesn't seem like you're acquainted with any of the other Lasetti, so you must have discovered it on your own somehow, unless you have absolutely no idea how powerful the device would really be, Layla continues. So you plan to keep pretending that you are Stillwater until the end of the tournament with your stat device only as a backup. What do you mean? Of course I knew that the stat device works better for Lasetti. Actually, to be honest, I don't even know. To be honest with you, before coming here, I didn't even know I was a Lasetti. Well, what is the point of being pompous at this point? Some things I want to hide, he tells away, and then things that I don't really care about, he's like, oh, should I tell her that? Yeah, sure, go ahead, tell her that. Actually, to be honest, before coming here, I didn't even know I was a Lasetti. You mean you thought you were a human? Layla writes. Yeah, that's what I meant, I say. Layla starts to giggle silently. Is there sound when she giggles, or is that mute too? Layla starts to giggle silently while covering her hand with a mouth. I can't believe how crazy you are, Layla writes. No one in the right mind would even try of thinking to bluff their way through a tournament like this. Now I understand why you seem so calm, even after you've heard that the arena's owner is preparing for us. This is just another regular day for you, isn't it? I don't know if I'd so far as to call it another regular day, I say. This is only the third time I've been thrown into a prison since I came to Varathia. This is the third time? Oh yeah, this is the third time. Once with the golden fox, once with the orcs, and now this is the third time. There's still room for improvement. Hey you two, I heard a guard shouting up from a window of Layla's cell. You can have all the private conversation you want on your own free time. This is the recreation period. Get back outside. Aye, sir, I say. We both head back towards the recreation area. Once we are out, we both get back to our original position without saying another word to each other. We've already said that what we need to say, and there was no reason to give Wilhelm any more opportunity to spy on our conversation. The rest of the recreation period was spent in silence. There was nothing for us to discuss with the upcoming fights, and nobody seemed to be in the mood for idle chatter. Since we couldn't just stand and do nothing for 2 hours, each of us tried to find something to occupy our time with. Ru started doing push-ups, Wilhelm started to sharpen his dagger, spent my time reading from my notebook, and the two thugs decided to play some dice. Lila seemed to be the only one content with simply standing there gazing at an empty wall in front of her until the recreation period ended. As soon as the recreation period was over, we all went quietly back into our cells. Continued to read from my notebook for a few more hours after leaving the recreation area. I've been reading through my notes about various creatures that I have come across in my studies, but there are so many of them it's difficult to memorize all of the information by heart. I still remember the day when I enchanted this notebook. It was the day when I decided to begin my journey around the world in the hopes of finding a way to become a mage. The enchantment cost me a fortune, but was still a lot cheaper than enchanting a backpack. It was more than what I needed for my intents. So what does this do? Like the infinite notebook? Can I just continuously write in the notebook? What was the enchantment he got on the notebook? I'm guessing just like infinite page or something. Enchantment cost, yeah. More than what I need for my intents and purpose. A notepad with endless number of pages. Was there any other tool that could have served me better in my quest for knowledge? I skimmed through the pages again, trying to guess which creature the arena's owner is more likely to throw at us. There are harpies, wargs, I think wargs are like dogs or something like that. Virens, three-headed hounds, like Cerberus, mammoths. Oh, right. Giants, spiders, giant eagles, the list is endless. And let's not forget that each type of creature has its own subcategories that cannot be ignored because they are sometimes wildly different from each other. You can have red spiders, green spider, white spotted, black spiders, even 10-legged spiders. Each of them have their own unique behaviors and weakness. Now think about it, Bruce mentioned that the arena's owner was fond of A dangerous creature, but does that mean that he might be keeping monsters of the humanoid type in here as well? Monster might be treated as if they are all mindless creatures by most people. The reality is a little different. Monsters of the humanoid variety are generally much more intelligent than the average creatures. Some of them are even organized in tribes, and they can communicate advanced information with each other through their own language, even if most of them don't speak common. The ogres from the fort were one such example. If they have any monsters here that are as strong as the ogre captain or the shaman, we might be in for a hell of a fight. Was it? I mean, I suppose we had like stronger allies, so I suppose that would have been easier. But anyway, as I sit on my bed and read, I suddenly hear a man's voice coming from my cell's window. "Greetings," the voice says. I turn around to see if I can get a glimpse of the man's face, who is hiding behind the wall outside my cell. "Do I know you?" I ask him. "No," the voice says, "but I heard that there was a fellow Lassetti among the prisoners who was brought here yesterday evening, so I came to pay you a visit." "A fellow Lassetti, you say?" I tell him. "Yes," the voice says. "I'm here to offer you a deal. Normally we do not deal with criminals, but since you are a Lassetti, I believe that is only fair to give you a second chance." He pauses. "Go on," I say. "You see," the voice continues, "we couldn't help but notice that the king of Thelia seemed to have placed an unusual amount of trust in you and your companions. Enough trust to invite you into his secret room below the throne. That is not the kind of invitation that is acquired easily." He pauses again to see if I have anything to say. He waits for a few more seconds and then he continues from where he left off. "The deal that we want to offer you is simple," the voice says. "All you need to do is convince the king to let you into his secret room again while carrying one of our devices." "Is this device of yours a bomb by any chance?" I ask him. "Oh, it's probably a, listening in like a fucking bug." "Is this what?" Yeah. The voice laughs softly. "Of course not," he says. "If you wanted to assassinate the king, I assure you that there are much easier and risk-free methods to use in order to get the job done." "Now, what is it that you're trying me to do? That you are trying to do?" "We are trying to subtly interfere with the ways that one of the gnome's own devices works. But the gnome king's invention is currently making his secret room completely soundproof, which stops us from listening in on his private conversations. However, at the moment, we do not have any agents that the king trusts enough to allow them to access to his secret room. This is why we turn to you. We are not asking you to do this for free, of course. That is why there are ways in which we could make your fights here in the arena much easier for you. All you need to do is agree to help us and we'll take care of the rest." Now this is interesting because maybe he will actually reduce the threat level of the fight, and if that's the case, then we might be having a better time, considering I have a really low stat on this, like my own let's play, and not on like just other let's plays. The fucking ideal playthrough is much better than this. I usually have stats for what I need it for. Of course, it's called the ideal playthrough, but yeah, this one I don't have the best stats, so it might make it easier. But what I would do IRL, not gonna lie, is I'm just going to refuse the Lassetti's offer. I don't want to accept it because the king, while under the threat of who is he, Aiden. While under the threat of Aiden, he did try and save us by sending us to this arena, not straight up killing us. And it looked like he wanted to do that before the fucking Aiden showed up, honestly. So I don't kind of want to go against him, but I don't want to lie to the Lassetti and accept the deal and betray them later, because like that's not just how I do things. So we're just gonna refuse the Lassetti's offer. "No thanks," I say. "I like to keep things challenging." There's a brief pause during which none of us say anything. "Is this your final answer?" Lassetti asks me. "Sure," I say. "What type of answer is sure? Shouldn't you answer yes?" "Sure" sounds like you're not really sure. It's like, okay, I'll just accept whatever you're saying. That's a weird one, but whatever. The Lassetti doesn't say anything for a few seconds, but then he answers me in a very calm manner as before. "Very well, then," Lassetti says. "In that case, I look forward to seeing your performance in the arena. Rather that we'll be seeing each other again. Farewell, fellow Lassetti." With these last few words, the Lassetti makes his departure. I wait for a minute to make sure that he's gone for good, and then I get back to reading my notebook. Hearing check successful, level 3. That is an odd one. Why do I have that? But okay. Not long after I think this was because I wanted to do reconnaissance or whatever. Not long after the Lassetti leaves, I start to hear some voices in the distant hallway outside my cell. Recognize one of the voices as that of the guard who woke me up this morning. "Hey, did you hear about the morning's meeting?" the guard says. "The one between the owner and the master?" The other voice says. "Yes," the guard says. "I heard that they're bringing out the Minotaur in round 2. The Minotaur, the other voice asks, shocked. You mean the undefeated champion of the arena? The one and only, the guard says, and I heard that they're also going to use giant scorpions and the manticores for round 1. What about round 3? The other voice says, will there be a duels between the gladiator? Yes, the survivals will have to fight each other in one-on-one duels at the end. The guard says, nobody expecting any of them to make it past round 1. The last phrase is barely audible as the guards are getting further and further away from me while they talked. The last thing I hear from them is the roaring of their laughter as their voices fade away.